Welcome to the Casual Shooters Podcast, your premier podcast for the casual shooter. Today, I have a special episode and a special guest. Joining me today is none other than Olympic biathlete Lenny Barnes. Welcome, Lanny.
David, thank you so much for having me on your show, and I'm really excited to talk to you today, especially in that American flag shirt. I'm really digging that.
Boom. Yes, this is my every podcast shirt. Every podcast.
Love it. Yeah.
I had to go see the orthopedic doctor today. So, let me come this way. My American flag tennis shoes.
Nice. That's awesome. I think we're going to sign you up for the Olympics before the end of this.
I'm down.
Some
I mean, even if I have to splint my body with rigger's tape, I'm down.
Nice.
All right. So, Prairie Fire posted something on Instagram that had me very intrigued. So I reached out to them and they put me in contact with you. So you were kind enough to reach out to me. So I have a bunch of questions about Prairie Fire. And I know it's a new company, less than a year old, but how did that even come about? And what is it?
So Prairie Fire is a lot of different things. It's hard to explain in just one sentence, but I'm going to do my best to explain all the different things that they're doing. But essentially, Prairie Fire is coming into the shooting and firearms industry to try to boost shooting, boost shooting sports, and overall make shooting more popular in the United States. That's kind of the overall picture, but there's so many things that go into it. From they're working on purchasing ranges around the country, building up a world-class range in Texas right now. They're going to be focused on training people. That's one big aspect where they're going to try to bring up the level of training and firearms proficiency for everybody in the United States. Not just from their organization, but passing on the knowledge to other people around the country, different ranges and different instructors and things like that. They're bringing into the fold new shooting competitions and trying to create shooting sports that are exciting, easy to watch, easy to follow, and that people can get behind and get really excited about. And just creating experiences for people within the shooting world so that people walk away with a smile on their face and want to come back for more.
Okay. Wow. All right. Definitely new, definitely dynamic for sure. So I noticed that, and what caught my attention was, best I can figure, is somewhere right around August 21st. Prairie Fire put something out on Instagram saying there's this $100,000 in cash prizes competition nationwide called Rank. So they've only been in existence this year and they've already come out with something this big. How long did it take them to come up with that? How do you sit down and go, let's put this together?
Well, that's a very good question, because it takes time for shooting sports to evolve and companies to evolve and things like that. And they pulled together some of the most amazing people that me personally I've ever worked with within the industry, from retired military to retired law enforcement, to competitive shooters, to just firearms enthusiasts, and to come up with different ideas. I mean, Rank is just kind of one of the basic shooting competitions, but at the same time, it's the way they've set it up. It's very complex, because it's not only just a stand and shoot, kind of your traditional bullseye competition, but it's going to allow people all across the country to be able to see where they're at different distances, and kind of a baseline of how to get into shooting sports, how to improve their shooting, and so people can see kind of where they're at.
Yeah. And I guess the whole concept is behind Rank is to literally rank yourself against everybody nationwide.
Yeah, I mean, you can, depending on your level of competitiveness, you can get your rank to see how you improve over time, Or if you're competitive against other people, I'm very competitive against my twin sister. I could say, okay, Tracy, I just ranked at this. Let's see if you can beat that. And people can do that all across the country. With their friends and people on social media, and say, call them out and say, hey, I just got this score of 80 at 15 yards, and let's see who can beat that. And rank is, it's basically, like I said earlier, it's a bullseye competition. So it's a stand and shoot, and there's a lot of different bullseye competitions out there. Um, but what's unique about rank is that it's very inclusive. Anybody and everybody can do it. They're in the process of creating software so that you can shoot it at your house, upload your scores, and then see what your rank is. From the comfort of your own home or your own range. If you're lucky enough to have a shooting range in your backyard, or even just going to your local range. And then if you want to go to one of the rank competitions that Prairie Fire is hosting, then it's even better, because one, and most importantly, it's free. And it doesn't take that much time to do. So you get a free competition, free ammo, and even guns are provided if you don't have your own. And then you can shoot the competition and see where you stack up.
Okay, well, that answered one of my questions, actually. I was like, I mean, you having shot a bunch of competitions, not just in the Olympics, but, national and other world stuff. I'm sure you're familiar with Practice Score.
Mhm.
So my thought was, okay, how do I find out what my rank really is? But you're saying they're in the process of developing that. I don't want to use Practice Score for trademark purposes, but they're creating something similar where you can actually literally go online, I guess, on the Prairie Fire website and see your rank.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's not there yet. They're working on that software right now, to be able to show people where they rank across the country, and I think it might be up next week. So it's very
Oh,
exciting. And
okay.
Practice Score is absolutely amazing. I use it for all my competitions and things like that. And I know that Prairie Fire has been working with Practice Score, and having conversations with them. So they're an absolute incredible resource. But Prairie Fire, I think, is trying to make this competition, like I say, accessible to everybody, and not hurt the pocketbook, or also allow people to be very time conscious. So it only takes about 10 minutes to complete this. So you're not devoting an entire weekend to a shooting competition. You can go over there, you can get your rank, and then you can go home and mow the lawn and do your other chores, and hang out with your family, and still have time to do everything you need to do on your list.
Yeah, it's not like a postal match you'd do in USPSA or IDPA.
Yeah, which are great too, because if you're committed to that, that's absolutely incredible. But there's so many shooters out there that just want to dip their toe in the water, get that little competitive edge, but not spend an entire weekend or fly across the country to do it.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Now, let's say I remember watching a video, and I believe it was the CEO, Bill Wilson, saying you can shoot it at 5, 10, 15, or 25, but 15 minimum for qualifying for the cash prizes. Now, if you shoot it at 5 or 10, would you still find yourself on that list, or are you going to have to be at 15 to find yourself on the list?
For this year, for this competition, they set the bar at 15 yards. And I believe for people sending in their scores, they have to have a score of 76 or higher. And people going
Mm,
to the actual competitions, 15, the regionals, 15 yards is the qualification, uh, but they're taking the top 30 from each competition.
okay. All right. Now, you kind of touched on it earlier. I was wondering, when they founded Prairie Fire and they started this rank competition, did they feel like there was a void in there and this was the way to fill the void and try to get everybody to do this?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, there's a lot of bullseye competitions out there, and little matches. GSSF is a great one, and NRA has a bullseye competition. But I think what they were trying to do is set up something that, like I said earlier, one, doesn't take much time, or utilize a lot of ammunition, because there's a lot of people out there that just don't have access to, you know, crates of ammunition. So it kind of helps people to be able to do something and feel good about themselves, and then also, see what they need to do to improve, but also kind of brings in the entire community across the country. GSSF matches are absolutely amazing, but you have to have a Glock in order to compete. So Prairie Fire's vision and mission is try to be inclusive for everybody.
Okay. Now you mentioned earlier, and I had not seen anything. I guess I missed it, but you said you guys are building a range in Texas.
Yep, they are building a range as we speak. It should be done here in the next couple of weeks in Florence, Texas. And I haven't been out there yet, but I've been seeing the photos, and it looks absolutely amazing.
So that is actually where the championship will be held, correct?
Correct, yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. But as I understand it, you guys are also trying to acquire some property in Nevada.
Correct, yes. They're in the process of acquiring Front Sight out in Las Vegas.
All right. Interesting, because I was just talking to a grandmaster who just shot the Carry Optics Nationals, June Kim, and he lives in Vegas, and we talked about trying to move the Carry Optics Nationals to Vegas sometime, and
Yeah.
even maybe front load it onto SHOT Show. I think that would be a pretty wild idea. So maybe Prairie Fire could host USPSA Carry Optics Nationals someday.
Absolutely, yeah. I think their goal is, their goal is not only to create shooting sports and new ones that are new, exciting. They also want to support the current ones that are out there. So USPSA, all the 3-gun outlaw matches, all the long range PRS,
That's
Steel
awesome.
Challenge, anything out there. Prairie Fire wants to support all the different shooting sports to just get as many people out there shooting and enjoying firearms as much as possible.
And there are a whole lot of brand new gun owners out there that could use it.
Absolutely.
Now, how did you guys come up with the rule book? I was reading through that thing. It's thorough, but yet not convoluted. Like, it's pretty cut and dry, nothing crazy, pretty simple to follow. How long did it take you guys to figure that thing out?
Our team's been working on that, and I'll have to give Eric Eckhart a lot of credit, because he's the one that put the most work behind that, and he's been developing the competition for the championships at the end of the month. And it's one of those things where you can get lost in the weeds with rules, and you can have a really challenging rule book, or you can just say, okay, we're all good people. We all love to shoot, and we're gonna put forth our best competition and put our best foot forward. And the winner at the end of the day will be determined by the best possible shooter, and go from there.
Yeah, I like it. It was very, very. I didn't read every single line, but I flipped through like the whole thing, and I was like, "This is very easy to follow, very simple, nothing crazy, but keeps everything in order." I like it. It's very good. Now, there are a lot of really, really good professional shooters out there. Nils, JJ, Max, Mason. I don't know if you would. I guess you could consider Mason Lane a professional shooter. I'm saying from the pistol side.
Mm-hmm.
Now, me, little old Dave, who just came back from Carry Optics Nationals and got to see all these people shooting. I thought I remembered Bill Wilson also saying he's trying to make it so that it still gives those guys who aren't quite world champions an opportunity to still compete. are we still looking at just the top of the top being able to make it to the end, do you think?
You mean for the championships?
Yeah, for the championship. I'm sorry.
You know, I was just talking to the group earlier about that, and you know, it's funny. You talk to every single person in our group and even outside, and every single person says, you know, they have a different person who they pick as is going to be the winner of this, you know, for different reasons. And because the way they set it up, and it's you know, it's there's nothing complicated about this match, you know, and you know, next year for their $1 million tournament, it's going to be a lot more complicated, and it's just going to be really really exciting. But this year they wanted to keep it simple but fun and exciting. So they have a really great progression of how you would actually or should do shooting sports. You know, that you start with the stand and shoot, where it's mostly just focused on accuracy. And if you're good at that and you can, you know, get all your holes in the middle of the paper, then the next thing you move on to is you know, the strong hand, weak hand around a barricade, which
I'm actually gonna start sharing those pictures so we can talk about them real quick
okay, yeah, definitely.
as we go. That way it'll
Perfect. Yeah. So I
people.
think it's just a great progression from, you know, start to finish, and you know, kind of increases the challenge as you go. And I think that no matter what, even the top shooters in the country are going to be challenged on the first stage, because you know, you're up against everybody else, 300 shooters, and it's a single elimination. So if you don't perform and you don't shoot accurately, you're not moving on to the next round.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It adds a lot of interesting stress.
yeah, yeah. So while this is very, very simple and not that complicated on stage one, there's a lot of stress and pressure, because if you can't stand there and shoot the basics, if you can't do the foundation of handgun shooting, you're not going to move to the next round. So, you know, second round adds a little bit more creativity and a little bit more challenge. You know, with
So
the
so here
barricade.
yeah,
Good.
so here's the first one on the screen now. I'm sharing it now. 15 yards. You've got 5 rounds in 60 seconds, and that would be on your first target, so your first string. And then your second string is on target too, and it's 5 rounds in 10 seconds. So it's more of a, I don't want to call it a rapid fire, but in essence, that's what it is.
Mhm.
Okay, so you're saying a score of 76 to at a minimum to progress from here.
No, no, that's for the to qualify for this competition.
Oh,
Um,
okay, I
for
got you.
this,
All right.
yeah, when you get to the championships, there'll be 300 people shooting this first round, and
Okay.
the scores will be collected from this first round, and the top 150 shooters will advance to the second round. So
Okay.
immediately,
So
150 people get eliminated. Um,
okay.
puts a lot of
And
pressure in
then
that first round.
yeah, absolutely. So then stage 2 being rank protector, this is where you're saying you're behind a barricade at 15 yards.
Yeah, and so
And
that, you know, our boss, he came, Bill, he came up with that, you know, the rank protector, and it's basically, you know, kind of how you protect your home, your, you know, your family, things like that. Having that ability and that skill set to, you know, protect your fort. So
okay.
it's essentially you're shooting 15 rounds strong hand on the right side, and then 15 rounds strong hand on the left side in 15 seconds.
Is it 5 rounds or 15 rounds?
5 rounds in 15 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's right hand on the right side and then left hand on the left side.
correct. Yes.
Oh, and
You know,
then
so
I another 50% gone after this.
correct. Yep.
Oh
And
boy, we're
then
whittling it down quick.
absolutely, yeah. Um, so it, you know, while it's simple, you know, it also you have to be on your game. You know, which I think is great, because you know, you look at the Olympics, you get an opportunity once every 4 years. So
Yeah.
you, you have to be on your game and be able to step up to line at any moment and be on.
Yeah, I mean, this is not going to be one of those competitions where you luck your way in at a regional, and you've got to have some skill.
Yep.
Now, stage 3 to me gets quite interesting. So this is a head-to-head duel.
It is, yeah. So you went from the stand and shoot, which is most accuracy, and then you went to the barricade, which adds a little bit more skill, strong hand, weak hand, and a little bit of time constraint. And then you go to the ranked duel, which is head to head, and basically, it's a speed match. So you're adding not only accuracy but the speed. So it's very similar to your standard shoot off, but it's going to be very exciting watching people step up and go head to head, to try to see who's the better shooter. Shoot offs are always exciting.
Yeah, they are. Well, and this is where I was going to ask the question. Is there going to be a way for people to watch this online as it happens?
Absolutely, yes. They're going to be streaming it live on the Prairie Fire
Yes.
website and all the social
Awesome.
media. Yeah, I think even there's going to be a lot of media out there for the event. So there's a lot of people. Shooting USA, I think, is going to be there, and a lot of different media organizations that are going to be pushing this out.
You guys picked the worst day ever. I work a 24-hour schedule and I have to work that day. I
Oh,
may I may end up being sick.
oh, bummer. Well, tune in if you can. And, they even have. I think they're putting in stands right behind the shooting bay so that people can watch. So it should be pretty exciting.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. So now at this point, now here my question is, after stage 2, there are 75 people left. Does somebody get a bye?
Nope. So I actually think they're whittling it down to 36 for this round. So instead of cutting it 50, I think they're going even further. So I believe it's 36 for this one, and then after that it's the Sweet 16.
All right. So there are only 16 people to make it to the gauntlet.
Yep, correct. Yes, and this one, I wish I was shooting this because it'd be absolutely amazing. But it takes it up the next level. So you go from stand and shoot, but with speed, to the gauntlet, which is adds both speed and a little bit of movement. So you have multiple positions that you have to get in and out of. You have the platform, and you have to shoot the targets with the corresponding color, and then move to the next position until you get down to the final one, which is the last couple plates, which will be your standard head-to-head shoot off to the stop plate.
Yeah. It looks like there's a platform you're going to have to get on with a port color coded yellow, and it looks like you're going to have some long shots on steel.
Yep.
And then you're going to have to move to another like barricade wall that has 2 different ports, 2 different colors, and you've got to
Yep.
make sure you shoot the blue targets through the blue port and the red targets through the red port. And then I guess you are off to your last position, which is just behind a table, and kind of like steel challenge where you've got a bunch of steel and you got to finish knocking them over, and first one done wins.
Absolutely, yeah. And what I love about this is, again, it's simple but also complicated because the color coding of the targets. I know better, just as good as anybody, how under pressure and stress, it's amazing how you can get colors mixed up.
Yeah, for
Things like
sure.
that, you could be on blue and think, oh no, I got to shoot the red ones, and so it adds a little bit more of a challenge, and so it should be very exciting.
So what happens if I go to the first port and I shoot all my long steel? Because that to me seems like it's going to be that one and the table are going to be the easier ones because your targets are all in one spot. So you're not going to get that mixed up. When I go to the wall, though,
Mhm.
I'm looking through that blue port and the blues and the reds are all mixed up. What happens if I shoot a red through a blue port?
I think that's it. I think you're out of it, I believe.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
So it's not a procedural, it's a disqualification.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you better be thinking what you're doing then.
Hmm.
All right, so if you're so after first you just keep shooting this so everybody shoots it, then you're down to 8, or is it time based?
No, they go down to I believe 8, and then winner
4,
winner takes
2,
all.
and
Yeah,
okay. Wow. So the winner gets 50K, correct?
correct. Yes.
How do they how do they divvy out the rest of it?
So I believe what they have is 50K for first, 20 for second, 15 for third, and then women it's 10,000, I believe 5,000 and 3,000, something like that, or 2,500, and then
What if I
juniors.
identify as a woman? I'm kidding.
Well, then
You don't have to answer
I was going to say, then I better see that skirt.
that. You don't want to see that skirt. I'm here to tell you.
So, and
But it
then
looks
the top junior gets 2,000. So they're definitely supporting the juniors as well.
nice. Okay. And then, all right. So that would be the end. But like you said, it's 10 times as big next year. It's $1 million.
It is, yeah. It's a million
I mean,
dollar tournament.
are you guys robbing banks somewhere or something? I mean,
Oh no, we're not robbing banks. It's just the the people that are supporting this want this to be the biggest prize purse in shooting history, and they want to bring the entire shooting community together. You know, Steel Challenge to Bianchi Cup to Three Gunners to everybody. Everybody's going to have a place at this match, and hopefully have the opportunity to compete for $1 million.
this is going to be amazing for sure. This is going to be, yeah, this is, I mean, I'm not a spring chicken and I've never heard of anything like this. So this is going to be
Well, I think
wild.
it's time for our shooting community to have something like this. You look at all the other sports, NASCAR and golf, and all these other sports out there, and they have these big tournaments and exciting moments where the entire world is watching, and hopefully we can create that for shooting sports.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, now that is fantastic. I would have never considered that it would happen in my lifetime, but that is absolutely fantastic. So, how long do you guys expect this tournament on the 28th to take?
It's probably going to take most of the day.
Okay. So,
Um,
into
well, we'll probably, I imagine, mid afternoon maybe to finish.
okay. That's not too bad. All right. Well, Lanny, was there anything else we did not cover with Prairie Fire and Rank?
Well, I think we covered quite a bit, but if people are interested, there's more information almost weekly up on the prairiefire.com website, and I hope to see everybody out there uh, checking out Rank and seeing where they rank, and stay tuned for some amazing things happening with Prairie Fire and just our shooting community in general.
Awesome. I'm definitely going to keep my ear to the ground. This is pretty amazing for the shooting sport. So, tell everybody thank you from the Casual Shooters podcast.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having us on, and
Thank
hopefully
you
you get
for
a
being
a
on.
little bit.